Hi, class. Welcome to my presentation, A Passport from Poverty, an analysis on the Higher Education Act of 1965. "56 years ago, on November 8th, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the 1965 Higher Education Act. Overnight, millions of academically eligible students had access to higher education for the first time. Legislation was signed into law as part of Johnson's Great Society domestic agenda. So this quote was the inspiration behind the title of my report and my presentation. As a son of a tenant farmer, I know that education is the only valid passport from poverty. President of the United States, I believe deeply no law I have signed or will ever sign means more to the future of America. The president signed this at the signing of the bill, and I just thought it really resonated to exactly his mission and motivation behind this law. The Higher Education Act of 1965 passed with 6 major titles. Title I provided funding for extension and continuing education programs. Title II allocated monies to enhance library collections. Title III included provisions for strengthening developing institutions such as historically Black colleges and universities. Title IV provided financial aid assistance for students through scholarships, grants, low-interest loans, and work-study programs. Title V provided provisions to establish the Teachers Corps, and Title VI provided grants to American universities for the establishment, strengthening, and operation of international study centers that will serve as national tools for teaching every modern foreign language. The needs the policy attempts to address were making college accessible to every student who wished to attend regardless of their situation, provide financial assistance for low-income students, and as I mentioned from my previous slide, establish teacher training programs. One interesting thing about HEA is that it varied considerably from 2 previous laws that were passed to allocate funds to prospective students. The first notable one was the National Defense Education Act of 1958, which aimed to attract more students into fields considered critical to winning the Cold War. But at the height of the civil rights movement, access to higher education for minorities became a focal point as well. So the HEA found itself in the national spotlight. And the HEA was enacted to remove the cost barrier for a number of low-income college students, particularly minorities. In 1964, fewer than 10% of people aged 25 and over had a college degree. Today, that figure has risen to more than 30%. This is directly attributed to the HEA and its development of new grants, loans, and other services. However, the HEA did little to address the increasing costs of higher education. It may be argued that HEA is one of the reasons tuition rates have skyrocketed over these last few generations. The goal of allowing anyone who graduated from high school to attend college was to level the playing field in this nation. 50 years later, our country is $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. So what are the logistics behind this bill? 70 million was allocated for undergraduate funding. To be efficient, the bill was to serve a broader variety of students to reach as many people as possible. Students received adequate amount of financial aid from the programs initially. And the goal is to increase the diversity of students that colleges and universities were serving. The Johnson administration earnestly wanted HEA to provide a path to upward economic mobility. However, about 89% of all student loans are now distributed through the federal government. Congress should consider radical proposals to protect students from accruing crushing debt. Canceling all outstanding student debt may be one of the first radical steps required. It is likely to meet political resistance, but the friction may be worth it. The U.S. government should write off debts on which it is the creditor and assume interest on behalf of borrowers on private lender loans. This will boost labor demand, lower the unemployment rate, and free up investments to boost the economy. Lyndon B. Johnson's HEA of 1965 was mostly effective, but its mission is far from finished. Each progressive generation has built on its original mission, and we should not think that will change anytime soon. That's my presentation. Thank you so much. And it's been a great semester. Thank you, guys.